everyone, and welcome back to Barnstable This Morning. Just about 10 minutes past the top of the hour on this Tuesday morning. I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining me live on the phone, I welcome our Chief of Police, Paul MacDonald. Chief, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, Chief, certainly want to start by talking a little bit about the storm. We had a little bit more snow yesterday, some rain, some freezing, and just on my way in, at 28 Main Street, pretty good. Tell me a little bit about the conditions of the roads that you know of at this time.
All of the main streets are pretty well clear. They did pre-treat the roads yesterday. DPW was out yesterday. They were out there most of the night last night, sanding and salting. All the main roads are in pretty good shape. However, a lot of the side roads, they're still snow covered. They still are extremely slippery. It's cold. As you know, it rained all day yesterday. So there is a sheet of ice on some of the side roads. And even some of the main roads, the travel lane is a little narrower than usual because of the amount of snow. There's just simply nowhere to push the snow off. So everybody has to use a little extra caution and give yourself a little more time going to work, and everybody be all right. As of 10 o'clock last night, there's been no reported motor vehicle accidents in the town of Barnstable, which is pretty good. Even on a clear night, we usually get a couple of accidents, so we're in good shape so far.
Absolutely, and things went well over the weekend. Obviously, DPW is still working really around the clock to deal with all that snow. So much stuff out there, and again, compounded with all the rain and cold weather we had overnight.
It's been nonstop for DPW since last Monday night when the storm started and they first started pre-treating the road. I mean, they've been out 24 hours a day almost constantly, trying to keep up with this, But this was a historic snowstorm. We thought it was coming, and we got it. And, some of the equipment the contractors used to plow the side streets, they just weren't sufficient, so they had to wait till the town DPW, the heavy dump trucks could get in there and actually do the work. So, I know a lot of people were inconvenienced, but the important part is nobody got hurt, nobody got injured, so we'll get through this.
Absolutely. And Chief, last week when we talked about the large number of cars that
yes.
were stranded during the snow event. What is going to happen to those people who did strand their cars? Are there fines or there charges that are involved with that, especially during a storm and while the driving ban was in place?
Well, there was a driving ban in effect. It was in effect for almost 24 hours. During the height of the storm, we did not have the time where the cars were stacking up for us. We simply towed the cars, moved them off the roadway. Some of them were just dragged from the snowbanks. Some of them got extensively damaged because they were abandoned. They were in the roadway, and when the big front end loaders came by, they didn't know a car was there. But we are probably not going to cite anyone because we just could not take the time to book all their information. But they are significant costs of towing those vehicles. They towed up to 100 vehicles between the three tow companies, Buckley's, Capeway, and Davis Towing. And I'm sure the cost of towing those cars on that type of inclement weather is going to be significant.
Absolutely. And Chief, just one more question about the storm. Of course, I know we've talked in the past about cold weather and snow like this being a deterrent to crime. Are we seeing kind of a downturn in criminal activity because of all of this blizzard activity?
And criminal activity has been down significantly. The bars have not been open. Most of our calls for services were for disabled motor vehicles, motor vehicle crashes, and we've had a lot of calls from individuals from different parts of the country calling and asking us to check on a family member they haven't heard from a couple of days, and because of the weather conditions, they were concerned for them. So we've done a lot of calls like that. But as far as the criminal activity, it's down significantly this last week.
Great, Chief. Let's talk a little bit about Town Council this week. I understand that there is a grant up for an acceptance. Tell me a little bit about this $50,000 that's coming your way.
The police department received a $50,000 grant from the Lyndon Paul Lorusso Charitable Foundation, and the money is specifically intended for the purpose of funding the training and the work of the Community Impact Unit. We have the Community Impact Unit. It's out on Main Street and is dealing with the homeless population in and around downtown Hyannis. Hyannis is the nucleus of all the social service agencies for the Cape Cod region. The Housing Assistance Corporation, Bay Bridge Clubhouse, Cape Cod Psych Center, the Salvation Army, Noah Shelter, Duffy Health Center, they're all located down there. In the first couple of months CIU has been operational, they have encountered 247 different individuals who are homeless or who are at risk of homelessness, and most of the individuals suffer from mental health or some kind of substance abuse issue. So what we're going to use this money for is some very, very specialized training for the CIU unit where they're going to receive specialized training. Then they're going to come back and be able to train the entire Barnstable Police Department. And we look at this training not only will better equip the police officer to perform their duties, it places the department in the town of Barnstable on the forefront of leadership and addressing mental health through understanding and positive treatment of these individuals. This is a big thing confronting law enforcement right now. You have the opiate problems, you have the homeless problem, you have mental health issues. And if you look at all our calls for service, our 60,000 call for service, there's one of these elements are almost involved in every single call. So this is just another step, we hope, in the right direction.
Great. And if approved, how soon will this money go into effect to start funding the program?
These 3 offices are already scheduled for first aid and mental health, which is a nationally recognized training. It's going to be held in Nashville, Tennessee. Hopefully the money gets accepted because we've already signed them up for the course in Nashville, Tennessee, which is the last week of this February. So we want to get this started as quickly as possible. We want to have the training in place before May for the entire police department. And this is only the first step. We've also applied for a grant through the Department of Mental Health, which is approximately $70,000, which will cover 2 years. That will enable us to train everyone in additional offices in this intensive training.
Really wonderful, Chief, and such an important part of dealing with those issues, as you say, substance abuse and homelessness. As you're talking about the homeless, again, I'm thinking about the cold weather and the snow.
Right,
I would assume
exactly.
that there's some particular concern for that population this time of year, especially over the course of the storm. Is there anything additional that the Community Impact Unit or the Police Department had to do to kind of help these people out?
Well, they actually working with M25, and they actually go out there and they traipse through the woods in the middle of these snowstorms looking for these individuals. They know where the camps are, and some of these individuals, these chronic homeless individuals who do have this mental health, they will not come into a shelter under any circumstance. They will come into a shelter. But we do go out, we check on the camps, and we have convinced just about all of them to go stay with a friend, stay with a relative, but you can't stay in the camp. So we have accounted for just about everybody. We do not believe right now that anybody's out in the camps. But again, these 3 officers had to traipse through the woods to try to find them.
Indeed, certainly a tough job. Well, Chief, I thank you so much, as always, for joining us here on Barnstable This Morning, and we will talk with you again next week. Have a good week.
Okay, talk to you then.
Thanks much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Chief of Police Paul MacDonald joining us, as he does each and every Tuesday morning here on Barnstable This Morning. Time now continues.